So for this strawberry compote, we want to start with about a pound of strawberries cut up, diced. Then we're going to start to make a simple syrup. So we're going to use equal parts sugar, equal parts water. So we're using 12 ounces of sugar here, along with 12 ounces of water. We combine the water to the sugar, and then we put it on the stove, and we let it come to a simmer, and we want the sugar to start to dissolve in the water. Once it begins to dissolve, we want to add our strawberries to our simple syrup, and we're going to cook that down and let it reduce down or start to thicken up just ever so slightly, and the strawberries start to break up and become nice and tender. So this will take about 20 to 30 minutes. You want to keep stirring it. You want to keep checking it. So I'm just stirring it. We don't want it to stick. We just want to make sure nothing is sticking. You can actually just kind of see that the strawberries are starting to break down a little bit. So I'm just going to thicken it up with just a little bit of cornstarch, about a tablespoon, and added just a few drops of water to it. And I want to combine that thoroughly. And then you could add, depending on how thick you want it, you can add it slowly just to see how it thickens up. So here I'm just going to add it. I added a little at a time and just started to stir it. Takes a few minutes for you to notice the difference. So just keep stirring it. And if it's not as thick as you want it, don't worry, because once it cools, the sugar's going to thicken it up because it's a syrup, as well as that cornstarch. So you really don't want a lot of cornstarch in there. If you want a really thick strawberry, like a jam, you can add a little bit of cornstarch, a little bit more to it. And that's basically it. So once we add the cornstarch, we let it cook down for another about 10 minutes. And I'll show you that it's starting to, if you just take a look at it, you see that it's starting to thicken up. It has a nice red color. And it's really starting to look like a syrup, or thicker than water. So it seems a little loose now, but once you put it in the refrigerator, it will thicken up. So, and this is nice. You want it to be spreadable. So, this is what I would put over a cheesecake. Also, this is what I use for the biscuits. This is what I use on my biscuits. So once we let it cook down, we pour it into a bowl, a heat-proof bowl, and just let it cool down. You don't want to put it in the refrigerator so hot. So we just let it cool down, and once it's cool enough, at room temperature, we'll put it in, you could either cover it with plastic wrap or put it in an airtight container and just let it sit for a few hours, or you can just let it sit overnight. So, but that's how easy it is to make strawberry compote.